Now, Ilocano is a language spoken in the Philippines. I think it's the third most commonly spoken native language in the Philippines. It has some properties that are familiar to us that we also see in English and other familiar languages, and has a few characteristics that we don't see in those languages. So first, let's look at some examples. So these are words in Ilocano: giling, meaning grind; sagat, meaning strain; balkot, meaning wrap; timbeng, meaning weigh. Now, if we add an affix, like in gilingan, it produces grinder, something or someone who grinds. Sagat becomes sagatan, strainer. Balkot becomes balkotan, wrapper. Timbeng becomes timbengan, something that weighs, kind of a balance or a scale. So if we look closely, we can observe that what's different between the forms that have been marked with a morpheme is that we've added a suffix. So Ilocano includes the suffix an, which attaches to verbs and creates a new word with the meaning a person or a thing that performs the verb. In fact, it may well be more often a thing than a person. I'm not certain about that. But let's look at some additional examples. So in Ilocano, Amianan means north, Abagatan, south, Bantam, mountain, Ili, town, and America, America. And when morphology is added to create new words, we get words like Taga Amianan, meaning a northerner, a person from the north. Taga Abadakan, I don't know, I don't speak Ilocano, something like that. A southerner, a person from the south. Taga Bantam, people from the mountains. Taga Ili, people from town or townies. Taga America, a person or people from America. And so looking closely, we see that these words are created with the addition of a prefix. So prefixes are also part of Ilocano. And this prefix attaches to nouns and creates the meaning, a person from whatever area or place is described by the noun. Now, what Ilocano has that we don't have in English is illustrated in the next set of examples. So the word kutong, meaning ant; gayaman, for centipede, a kind of insect; gilao, meaning fly. This is not the verb to fly, but rather the insect, a fly. Kuto is a kind of, I don't know if it's kuto or kuto. It's a kind of insect also, lice or a louse or lice. Now, when they're marked with additional morphology, as in kinutong, it means infested with ants. So a place that is filled with millions of ants would be infested with ants. But we've added some segments, neither to the beginning nor the end of the root, but they're actually inserted inside. Right? So kutong becomes kinutong. Gayaman becomes ginayaman, infested with centipedes. Nilao becomes ginilao, right? Infested with flies or fly infested. Kuto becomes kinuto, infested with lice or lice infested. Okay? So if you look carefully, what's been added is the affix in, but it's been added just inside the beginning of the word. It's like a prefix, but a prefix that is kind of inserted after the first sound of the word. Okay? So this is not a prefix or a suffix, but rather an infix, an affix that gets inserted within the base. And now there's a more sophisticated explanation about that, but we'll leave it there. It's definitely different from prefixes and affixes. And there's one additional type of affix we'll look at a later time, known as a circumfix, where the affix is attached around the base, kind of both a prefix and suffix together. But that doesn't appear in Ilocano, so we'll come back to something like that a little later. Okay, we'll stop there for Ilocano.